Hey y'all, welcome back for another hunting ammo ballistics gel test. Today we've got a potential budget option for you. We've got Sellier & Bellot 180 grain soft point cut edge in 300 Win Mag. And here's your box for that Sellier & Bellot 180 grain soft point cut edge 300 Win Mag load. Flipping it around to the back, there's no real promo info on here. It's a bunch of like safety stuff and whatnot. Right here we've got our velocity chart. Muzzle velocity is stated at 2,936 feet per second. We'll see how close we get to that. Let's go ahead and open the stuff up and take a look. Now these Sellier & Bellot boxes open from the top. So there you go. Let's pull one out. S&B brass tends to look pretty decent. Sometimes it's a little scuffy, but most of the time it's really clean, and this is no exception. There's that cut edge bullet design right there, really interesting. Let's go shoot it and see how it does. And my test rifle today is my Ruger M77 Hawkeye Hunter, chambered in 300 Winchester Magnum, of course. It's got a 24-inch barrel, and we are taking advantage of that threaded muzzle. And up top we've got a Leupold VX3 HD scope. And coming on back, I've got to show you one of my handmade leather cartridge cuffs. Check out my website, masonleather.com, to get yourself one. I would love to make you one. And we've got 300 Win stamped right in to let everybody know the hammer is about to fall. And I've also got one of my super thick Latigo leather slings. Check out my website for these as well. If you're looking for a leather sling that will last you a lifetime, you're going to want to check these out. And coming around to the other side, I've got to show you my Black Bear design. And real quick, if you're watching this video anytime around when it came out, I'm having a huge sale on my website, masonleather.com. Go check it out and get yourself something.
We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description.
So let's go ahead and shoot it. And here are your velocities for that 180 grain soft point cut edge bullet from Sellier & Bellot out of the 300 Win Mag, minimum 2971, maximum 3005 for an average of 2991. And we are down here at the blocks after shooting those Sellier & Bellot 180 grain soft point cut edge bullets out of the 300 Winchester Magnum. We got them all right here. We captured all 3 bullets. They actually held together decently and they look really nice. They expanded really nicely. We didn't have any jacket core separation as far as the base goes, but my gosh, look at the wound tracks on these. Now granted, this is 3 wound tracks, but here are the wound tracks for 3 Federal Terminal Ascents, the 200 grainers out of the 300 Win Mag. Look at that, and then look at this. I mean, it's night and day. These things are like, I mean, this is out of control, the wound tracks on these soft point cut edge bullets, and we have a lot of fragmentation in here, a whole bunch of chunks of lead. This is gonna mess up whatever you hit with it. Now, based on the penetration, I don't know that you'd want to be trying to go through shoulder bones or anything on, you know, real big game, but if you hit a whitetail in the vitals with this, I think it's game over. So first, let's look at the wound track. They open up rapidly by about the 1-inch mark, and then just, I mean, it's like a thundercloud in there. It's massive. And granted, I know it's 3, but still, all the way back till about the 10 to 11-inch mark where they die off, and then they keep on penetrating back. Now we'll talk about penetration. And penetration wasn't bad, 22 inches and then 23 and 23 inches for all 3 of those bullets. I am thoroughly impressed by this Sellier & Bellot soft point cut edge stuff, at least this 300 Winchester Mag version. Really, really good stuff, it seems like, for, you know, particular applications. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go ahead and dig them out and take a look. All right, y'all, we shot it. Let's talk about it. The Sellier & Bellot 180 grain soft point cut edge load in 300 Win Mag. Weight retention, 41 grains, 78 grains, and 80 grains for an average of only 66 grains of retained weight. That is 37% weight retention. This is the lowest weight retention of any 300 Win Mag load I've tested so far. And just look at the photo of the bullets here. One of them had jacket core separation, complete jacket core separation. So that's driving the average weight retention down just a hair, but not a whole ton. I mean, the heaviest of the 3 bullets here was still only 80 grains. Expansion-wise, we saw 0.5 inches, 0.59, and 0.59 inches, so consistent if nothing else. For an average of 0.56 inches expanded diameter, that's 1.8x expansion, which is on the lower end for what I've seen from 300 Win Mag ammo. And considering how much weight these bullets lost, I'm not surprised. I mean, what's left of these bullets is, folded back pretty good. Velocity-wise, this was really interesting. This is an interesting load, y'all. High velocity, 3,006 feet per second. Low was 2971 for an average of 2992 versus the factory spec of 2,936 feet per second. So even our low velocity was way faster than our factory spec. On average, we were 56 feet per second faster than box spec. No wonder this stuff made such an absolutely massive wound cavity, and I'll talk about that now. If you don't remember, go back and watch where I'm down at the gel blocks looking at them. That first block was annihilated. I mean, most of each one of these bullets broke up and fragmented and shattered and created the most devastating wound channels, I think, of any ammo I've tested thus far. This is, if I'm correct, this is the 169th load that I've tested. Not all the videos are out, but that's how many I've done so far. And this one created the most just bonkers wound track of any of them. I mean, it was like a grenade went off in there. And our estimated velocity down there at 100 yards is 2,798 feet per second. Penetration-wise, I was actually pleasantly surprised that the penetration was what it was considering the ridiculous fragmentation. We saw 22 inches, 23 inches, and 23 inches for an average of 22.5 inches of penetration. Now, granted, what was left of the bullets at the end of the day wasn't much. All of them lost the vast majority of their weight, but what was left did go past that 20-inch mark I like to see for medium game hunting, so there you go. And kinetic energy wise, this stuff was the most powerful 300 Win Mag load I have tested kinetic energy wise so far, with a 180 grain bullet going on average 2,992 feet per second. We're looking at 3,577 foot-pounds at the muzzle and 3,127 foot-pounds down there at 100 yards. And that is a direct reflection of the ludicrous velocity this stuff was going. Well, not really ludicrous, I mean, just faster than the box spec. Nice and hot. And a quick announcement before we get to my final thoughts. If you'd like early access to my videos weeks and even months in advance of everyone else, become a channel member. The links will be in the video description and the pinned comment. Thanks, y'all. Alright, y'all, time for my final thoughts on this 180 grain soft point cut edge load, or soft point cut through edge is what it says on the website. Out of the 300 Win Mag, this stuff was bonkers. I mean, it created the most massive, just wild wound channel of any ammo I've tested so far. It looked like a gigantic VMAX bullet went off. I mean, what was left did penetrate past the 20-inch mark that I like to see, so I can't fault it there too much. And so, I mean, how do we evaluate this bullet? There's really not any information on the box, but if you go to their website, I've got it pulled up on my phone here. I went to their soft point cut through edge bullet webpage talking about this bullet. I'm going to read it to you. It says, the cut-through edge locks the jacket and lead core together while also producing a clean entrance wound and distinct, easy-to-follow blood trails, appropriate for light to medium game. So did it do that? Did it lock the jacket and lead core together? Well, I mean, not really. One of them had complete jacket core separation, so it didn't do that. The other two lost the overwhelming majority of their weight, so I'd say it didn't really do that. Now, is it going to produce an easy to follow blood trail? It says that in there as well. Well, what was left of the bullets did, probably would exit out of light to medium game, which again is what it says in the ad copy here. I'd say this stuff's probably going to create one heck of a blood trail, and it's not going to be much of a trail. It's probably going to be a gigantic pile on the ground where your deer's split in half from this freaking grenade that went off inside it. And I'm being a little sarcastic there, but maybe not too far from the truth. I mean, if you want to quarter it out and, get it ready for the cooler just by shooting it, this might be the option for you. Now, if you're looking for a hunting load to, save meat, you don't want to blow apart the shoulder or anything like that, this might not be the option for you. I think you're going to be picking lead out of a lot of meat. if you're hunting in a situation where you can take, real careful, neck shots or something like that, I know some people like to do that. I think this might be a great option for that. Probably going to decapitate the deer, but hey. So if you're going for, a shoulder mount or something, maybe don't do that. All in all, I think this is a fun ammo. I mean, it's Sellier and Bellot. It's typically more affordable. I think it would be, fun for range use, practice in your 300 Win Mag. Again, if you're looking to just absolutely lay the smack down on, some whitetail deer or medium game like that, I think it could be an option for that. Not if you're looking to save meat. So at the end of the day, honestly, reading the ad copy on the website, I don't think this load actually measured up to what it's supposed to do. But I think it's funny. I think honestly it kind of bombed, but it did it in a fun way. And here, I'll try to show you. Here's their webpage on their semi-jacketed soft point cut through edge bullet. Coming down, you can see down there in the bottom corner, sort of a graphic. It's an illustration. It's not a photo of, I guess, what they expect the bullets to look like on impact. They look nice and mushroomed, and it looks like they held most of their weight together. That is not what these did. So at the end of the day, compared to what they're supposed to do, I think this was a pretty big fail, but I think it's a fun load. If you've used this game on anything, let me and everyone else know in the comments how it did for you. And check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. And there are hundreds of reviews on my website, so you can see what real hunters have to say about their Mason leather gear. And also tons of photos showing all the customizable options, including name, initial, and caliber stamping, as well as wild game designs and more. Everything is handmade by me right here in the USA. I would love to be a part of your hunt through my leather gear. And it helps support this channel, so I can bring you more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests, and lots of other cool stuff in the future. The link will be in the video description and the pinned comment, or you can just type masonleather.com into your web browser.
And click one of these cards for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.